Let me tell you why most self-improvement advice fails you completely. It's designed to make you feel good, not become exceptional. The comfortable lie is that small. Easy changes eventually lead to major breakthroughs. They don't. True transformation isn't about adding a few good habits to your existing life. It's about systematically destroying the person you've been and rebuilding from the foundation up. The marketers and motivators won't tell you this because it wouldn't sell. Becoming unrecognizable in 90 days requires you to experience daily psychological death as your old self fights to survive. The people closest to you will unconsciously sabotage your transformation because your growth threatens their comfort. Your own mind will create elaborate justifications for maintaining the status quo. And that's exactly why most people remain exactly the same year after year while wondering why nothing changes right now. You stand at a crossroads. In just 90 days from this moment, you can become someone you wouldn't recognize if you met them today. This isn't wishful thinking or empty motivation. This is a proven reality that thousands have achieved before you. Most people wish for change, but few transform. Why? Because transformation isn't about small adjustments, it's about complete reinvention. The person who achieves extraordinary results isn't just doing different things, they've become different. You have untapped potential inside you, potential that's been dormant, potential that's been waiting for the right system to activate it. Today marks the beginning of that activation. In 90 days, you won't just have new habits, you'll have a new identity. Look at your life right now. Your current results aren't random. They are the perfect reflection of who you've been up until now. Your income, your health, your relationships, your sense of fulfillment, these aren't accidents. They're the direct consequence of your daily actions, which stem from your beliefs about what's possible for you. The 90-day transformation works because it aligns perfectly with how human psychology functions. Research shows it takes approximately 66 days to cement a new habit into your neural pathways. By day 90, you're not just practicing new behaviors, you're operating from a new baseline of excellence. Most transformation attempts fail because people focus only on behaviors without addressing the underlying operating system, their self-concept. When your actions contradict your self-capacity, your subconscious mind creates resistance. That's why willpower alone always fails. True transformation happens when your new actions align with your new identity. The world's most successful people understand something the average person doesn't. Success isn't about what you do occasionally. It's about who you become permanently. Olympic athletes don't just train differently, they think differently. Top CEOs don't just work differently, they process information differently. World-class performers in any field have reprogrammed their minds to operate at levels that would exhaust ordinary thinking. Your potential is practically limitless. The human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons with trillions of connections. You're using only a fraction of your capabilities right now. This 90-day transformation isn't about pushing beyond your limits, it's about removing the artificial limits you've placed on yourself. Here's why most people never transform. They're unwilling to endure temporary discomfort for permanent improvement. They sacrifice what they could become for what feels comfortable now. The uncomfortable truth is that transformation requires a period of consistent discomfort. Your comfort zone is where dreams go to die. The key difference between those who transform and those who don't isn't talent or luck. It's their relationship with discomfort. Top performers in every field have trained themselves to pursue discomfort because they understand it's the only path to growth. They don't avoid difficult things, they systematically seek them out. Every major breakthrough in your life will come immediately after a period of substantial challenge. This is the transformation gap, the space between who you are and who you're becoming. Most people quit in this gap. They start with enthusiasm, face inevitable obstacles, and retreat to their comfort zone. The difference makers push through this gap repeatedly until their comfort zone expands to include their new standards. In these next 90 days, you'll develop what I call transformation momentum. The first 30 days are the hardest because you're fighting against deeply ingrained patterns. Your old self will resist with everything it has. This resistance isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's proof you're doing something right. By days 30-60, you'll experience the first evidence of real change. Your new actions will start feeling more natural. Your results will begin to reflect your efforts. You'll catch glimpses of your new self emerging. This period is dangerous because early success can lead to complacency. The truly successful maintain their intensity even when progress becomes visible. Days 60-90 cement your transformation. What began as conscious effort becomes unconscious competence. Your new standards become non-negotiable. Your identity shifts from aspiring to being. You don't try to perform at higher levels. You simply cannot accept anything less. Look at the areas of your life where transformation is most needed. Is it your physical vitality, your financial situation, your relationships, your professional capabilities? True transformation isn't compartmentalized, it's holistic. When you upgrade your standards in one area, it creates a positive cascade across all areas of your life. The most powerful catalyst for transformation is decision, not preference, not interest, not hope. Decision. When you truly decide something, you eliminate all other possibilities from your mind. Most people never make real decisions. They have preferences, wishes, hopes, but not decisions. A genuine decision means cutting off all other options, starting today. Decide who you'll become in the next 90 days. See this new version of yourself with absolute clarity. Feel what it's like to be this person. How do they think? How do they respond to challenges? What standards do they uphold? What do they no longer tolerate? Your transformation begins the moment you raise your standards, when what was once acceptable becomes unacceptable, when what once seemed good enough now feels intolerable. When you refuse to live one more day as the person you've been, the next 90 days will test you. There will be moments when your old patterns call you back to comfort. There will be days when progress seems invisible. There will be people who, consciously or unconsciously, try to keep you at your current level because your growth threatens their complacency. These obstacles aren't barriers to your transformation. They're part of it. They're the resistance that strengthens you. They're the challenges that forge your new identity. Without them, no real change occurs. Remember this, 90 days from now, you'll arrive somewhere. That's certain. The only question is, will you arrive where intentional transformation takes you or where unconscious drift leads you? One path creates a life of power and possibility. The other maintains the status quo that's no longer serving you. The clock starts now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances are perfect, not when you feel ready, now. Because transformation never occurs in some imagined future. It only happens in the present moment through present actions. The foundation of becoming unrecognizable in 90 days starts with your mental framework. Your mind is the control center for everything you do and everything you achieve. When you change your thinking, everything else changes. The first mental component is identity reconstruction. Most people try to change their actions without changing how they see themselves. This approach always fails. Your current identity has been shaped by thousands of experiences and decisions over your lifetime. It constantly works to maintain consistency with your existing self-image. To transform, you must consciously design your new identity. Ask yourself, who do I need to become to achieve the results I want? Then, Create detailed mental pictures of this person. How does this person think? How do they make decisions? How do they handle setbacks? The clearer this identity becomes in your mind, the more naturally your actions will align with it. I call this process identity priming. Each morning, spend 5 minutes visualizing yourself as this new person. Feel the confidence, focus, and capabilities of this version of you. This isn't fantasy. It's strategic mental conditioning that programs your subconscious mind to recognize and move toward this identity. The second mental component is strategic goal setting. Most people set vague, unmeasurable goals that generate no real motivation. Transformational goals have 5 key characteristics. They're specific, measurable, emotionally charged, deadline-driven, and slightly intimidating. Write your goals using present tense, positive language. Instead of, I want to lose weight, write, I am at my ideal weight of 170 pounds by September 1st. This language pattern speaks directly to your subconscious mind, which doesn't distinguish between current reality and vividly imagined futures. Create a 90-day scorecard with monthly benchmarks for each goal. This converts abstract aspirations into concrete targets. Review this scorecard daily. What gets measured gets improved. What gets reviewed regularly becomes reality. The third mental component is belief system renovation. Your beliefs determine your expectations, which determine your actions, which determine your results. Limiting beliefs act as invisible barriers to your potential. You must systematically identify and replace them. Make a list of your current beliefs about your capabilities, what's possible for you, and what you deserve. Then ask, is this belief empowering me or limiting me? Is it based on facts or assumptions? What would serve me better? And when you identify a limiting belief, create its empowering opposite. If you've believed, I'm not good with money, create, I'm developing excellent financial intelligence daily. Then gather evidence that supports this new belief. Your mind requires proof to accept new beliefs as reality. The fourth mental component is daily mental conditioning. Your mind, like your body, responds to consistent training. Create a 30-minute morning mental workout that includes 10 minutes of focused reading on topics related to your desired transformation. Your mind becomes what you consistently feed it. 10 minutes of positive affirmations that align with your new identity. These aren't wishful statements. They're declarations of what you're becoming. Speak them aloud with conviction. 10 minutes of visualization. Seeing yourself performing at your new standard of excellence. Engage all your senses. Make these mental movies as vivid as possible. This mental conditioning creates new neural pathways that support your transformation. Most people's mental patterns work against them because they've never deliberately programmed their minds for success. The fifth mental component is emotional mastery. Emotions drive actions far more powerfully than logic. Your emotional state determines your performance level in any situation. Most people let circumstances dictate their emotions, creating a perpetual cycle of reactivity. The transformation mindset requires emotional proactivity. You choose your emotional states regardless of external conditions. This isn't positive thinking. It's emotional intelligence at its highest level. Develop trigger words and physical patterns that instantly change your state. When you feel unproductive, stand tall. Take 3 deep breaths and say, energize, focus with intensity. Your physiology directly influences your psychology. Create an emotional success cycle by celebrating small wins daily. Most people wait for major achievements to feel successful, but transformation accelerates when you attach positive emotions to incremental progress. The sixth mental component is decision quality. The quality of your life reflects the quality of your decisions. Most people make decisions based on immediate comfort rather than long-term results. Your transformation requires a new decision-making framework for every important choice. Ask, does this align with who I'm becoming? This single question eliminates countless poor decisions that would otherwise derail your progress. Make decisions from your future self's perspective. Imagine looking back from 90 days in the future. Which choice would make that version of you proud? This time-shifting technique bypasses present moment biases. Remember, mental transformation isn't abstract philosophy. It's practical psychology applied consistently. These mental components work together as a system. Each reinforces the others. As your identity shifts, goal achievement becomes more natural. As you achieve goals, your belief system strengthens. As your beliefs strengthen, your emotional mastery improves. Your mind is infinitely malleable. It can be your greatest ally or your most formidable obstacle. The difference comes down to whether you passively accept your mental patterns or actively redesign them. The next 90 days will transform your mind from a limitation to your greatest asset. Your physical state directly impacts every aspect of your performance. The body and mind form an inseparable system. To become unrecognizable in 90 days, you must transform your physical condition with the same intensity as your mental framework. The first physical system is energy management. Most people focus on time management, but energy is the true currency of high performance. Your time might be limited to 24 hours daily, but your energy can be systematically expanded and strategically directed. Create an energy audit for 1 week. Track your energy levels hourly on a scale of 1-10. Note what you eat, when you sleep, what activities you engage in, and who you interact with. Patterns will emerge showing what depletes and what enhances your energy. This data becomes the foundation of your physical transformation. Implement the 90/90/1 energy principle for the first 90 days. Dedicate the first 90 minutes of each day to your one physical priority. This might be exercise, meal preparation, or adequate sleep. This single habit creates momentum that carries throughout your day. The second physical system is optimal nutrition. Food is information for your cells, not just fuel. The quality of this information determines how your body functions. Most people eat based on convenience or cravings. The transformation approach treats nutrition as a strategic advantage. Adopt the clear plate strategy before putting anything on your plate. Ask, will this food serve my transformation or hinder it? This simple filter eliminates most poor nutritional choices without requiring complex diet rules. Implement strategic eating windows. Research shows that when you eat can be as important as what you eat. Compress your daily eating into an 8-10 hour window. This practice, called time-restricted feeding, enhances cellular repair, improves metabolic flexibility, and increases mental clarity. The third physical system is strategic movement. Exercise isn't just about burning calories. It's about optimizing your brain chemistry, hormonal balance, and recovery capacity. The transformation approach integrates movement throughout your day rather than isolating it to gym sessions. Create movement triggers in your environment. Place a kettlebell by your desk. Do 5 push-ups before each meal. Take phone calls while walking. These micro-movement opportunities compound into significant physical change without requiring major time investments. Implement contrast training. Alternate between high-intensity intervals and complete recovery periods. This approach mirrors the natural rhythm of human performance and accelerates physical adaptation. 4 minutes of intense exertion followed by 4 minutes of active recovery, repeated 4 times, can outperform an hour of moderate activity. The fourth physical system is recovery optimization. Most transformation attempts fail because people focus exclusively on output without addressing renewal. Peak performers in any field understand that strategic recovery accelerates progress rather than delaying it. Create a sleep sanctuary in your bedroom. Remove electronic devices. Lower the temperature to 65, 68 degrees, and establish consistent sleep and wake times. Quality sleep is non-negotiable for transformation. It's when your body rebuilds and your brain consolidates new learning. Implement daily strategic recovery periods. 3 times daily. Take 5 minutes to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and completely disengage from activity. These micro-recovery sessions prevent the cumulative stress that derails most transformation efforts. The 5th physical system is environment optimization. Your physical surroundings shape your behaviors more powerfully than willpower alone. Most people try to change their habits while leaving their environment unchanged. This approach ignores basic behavioral science. Create success triggers throughout your space. Place your workout clothes beside your bed. Stock your refrigerator with prepared healthy meals at eye level. Remove temptations from your home rather than resisting them daily. These environmental adjustments make transformation the path of least resistance. Implement the 20-foot rule. Anything that supports your transformation should be within 20 feet of you. Anything that hinders it should be at least 20 feet away. This simple spatial strategy significantly impacts your daily choices without requiring conscious decision-making. Remember that physical transformation isn't about perfection, it's about progression. You're not aiming for flawless execution. You're building consistent systems that move you forward even on your worst days. The goal isn't to transform through heroic efforts, but through intelligent systems that work even when motivation fluctuates. The physical condition creates the platform from which all other success launches. When your energy is optimized, your mental clarity improves. When your nutrition supports your goals, your emotional resilience increases. When your movement patterns enhance your biochemistry, your productivity naturally rises. The most powerful approach combines these physical systems into a morning success ritual. The first 60 minutes after waking sets the trajectory for your entire day. Design this period as the physical foundation of your transformation. This isn't about finding time. It's about making this time non-negotiable, regardless of circumstances. Taking massive action separates the transformed from the merely interested. The right action systems turn intentions into tangible results. Your productivity framework determines how quickly you become unrecognizable. The cornerstone of transformation action is what I call focal productivity. Most people spread their efforts across too many activities, creating the illusion of productivity while achieving minimal progress in critical areas. The 90-day transformation requires ruthless concentration on high-leverage activities. Implement the Transformation Power Hour. Identify the single activity in each life area that creates the most significant results. Dedicate 1 uninterrupted hour daily to this activity with complete focus. This single habit accelerates your progress exponentially. 1 focused hour outperforms 4 distracted hours. Create a not-to-do list alongside your to-do list. Transformation requires elimination as much as addition. List all activities that consume time without moving you toward your new identity. Then systematically remove them from your life. This creates space for high-impact actions. Apply the 80/20 principle daily in any area. Roughly 20% of inputs create 80% of results. Review your actions each evening. Identify which few activities produce the most significant outcomes. Then restructure tomorrow to emphasize these activities. This continuous refinement process compounds your results over 90 days. Implement consequence structures that guarantee action. Tell 10 people about your 90-day goal. Schedule weekly accountability calls. Make public commitments. Create financial stakes by putting money on the line. These external structures keep you moving forward when internal motivation fluctuates. Master the skill of task completion. Most people start many things but finish few. The transformed person develops completion momentum by finishing what they start, no matter how small. This builds the neural pathways of someone who executes consistently rather than someone who merely begins. Create implementation intentions for key behaviors. These are specific if-then plans. If it's 6 o'clock, then I immediately exercise for 30 minutes. Research shows this approach makes you 3 times more likely to follow through than simple goal setting alone. These automatic response patterns bypass the need for daily willpower. Install pattern interrupts for procrastination triggers. Identify what typically causes your procrastination. Then create a physical action that breaks the pattern. Stand up, change locations, or do 10 jumping jacks. This breaks the procrastination cycle before it gains momentum. Adopt the 5-minute rule for resistance. When you feel resistance toward an important task, commit to just 5 minutes of action. This overcomes the activation energy required to start. Once in motion, you'll likely continue. Starting is almost always harder than continuing. Build daily momentum through completion tracking. Create a visible record of your daily wins, no matter how small. This creates a visual representation of your progress and triggers dopamine release, which reinforces your action patterns. Small completions stack into major transformation. Remember, productivity isn't about doing more things. It's about doing the right things consistently. The transformed person doesn't have more willpower than others. They have better systems that require less willpower. Your action systems should make transformation the path of least resistance, not the path of greatest discipline. The most critical phase of becoming unrecognizable happens between days 60 and 90. This is when temporary changes solidify into permanent transformation. Most people focus only on initiation, but fail at integration. Let me share a story that illustrates this principle perfectly. Michael was a mid-level manager who had tried countless self-improvement programs. He would start strong, see initial results, then gradually slide back to his previous patterns. When I first met him, he was frustrated and skeptical. "I can change for a few weeks," he told me, "but it never lasts." We began working on his 90-day transformation. The first 30 days followed our mental and physical systems. He created his new identity blueprint, established his morning rituals, and implemented the action frameworks. As expected, he saw encouraging early results. His energy increased, his productivity improved, his confidence grew. So around day 45, he faced his first major challenge. A company reorganization doubled his workload temporarily. In the past, this would have been his excuse to abandon his transformation efforts. "Oh, I'll get back to it when things settle down," he would have said. This time was different. Instead of abandoning his systems, he simplified them. We created what I call minimum viable transformation practices, the essential daily actions that maintain momentum even during high-stress periods. Rather than hour-long workouts, he did 20-minute high-intensity sessions. Rather than extensive morning journaling, he focused on 5 key questions. He maintained his transformation trajectory through adaptation rather than abandonment. By day 75, the organizational crisis had passed. Unlike previous improvement attempts, where he would have been starting over, Michael had maintained his core practices. Now, he could build upon this foundation rather than rebuilding it. On day 90, Michael didn't just have new habits, he had a new identity. His colleagues commented that he seemed like a different person. His performance metrics had improved by 40%. Most importantly, his new standards had become non-negotiable. The transformation was no longer something he was trying, it was who he had become. Michael's story highlights the integration principles that make transformation permanent. First, Create systems for inevitable challenges. Most people design transformation plans for ideal conditions. The successfully transformed person builds flexibility into their systems, expecting and planning for disruptions. Implement the minimum viable practice approach. Identify the 20% of your transformation activities that deliver 80% of the results. During high-stress periods, focus exclusively on these core practices. This maintains your momentum when perfect execution isn't possible. The second integration principle is environmental reinforcement. Your physical and social environments must support your new identity. Most people try to transform while keeping the same environments that created their previous results. Michael redesigned his office to support focused work. He reorganized his home to facilitate healthy food choices and regular exercise, most importantly. He communicated his new standards to those around him. He didn't ask for permission, he simply informed them of his non-negotiables. Create what I call decision-free zones in your environment. Predetermine as many choices as possible. Prepare meals in advance. Lay out exercise clothes the night before. Schedule your most important activities as recurring calendar appointments. These environmental adjustments reduce the daily decision fatigue that erodes transformation. The third integration principle is relationship realignment. The people around you will either elevate you to your new standards or pull you back to their comfort zone. This isn't about abandoning relationships. It's about recalibrating them around your transformation. Michael had a weekly lunch routine with colleagues that always involved unhealthy food choices and negative conversations. Rather than avoiding these relationships, he suggested a new location with healthier options. He began steering conversations toward productive topics. Some colleagues adapted to these new standards, others naturally drifted away. Create transformation partnerships with like-minded individuals. Find at least one person pursuing similar growth and establish regular accountability conversations. These relationships create positive social pressure that reinforces your new identity when internal motivation fluctuates. The fourth integration principle is metrics monitoring. What gets measured gets managed. The successfully transformed person tracks their progress with objective measures rather than subjective feelings. Michael created a weekly scorecard covering 5 key performance indicators across physical, professional, and personal domains. Each Sunday, he reviewed these metrics, celebrated improvements, and adjusted his approach based on the data. This prevented the gradual backsliding that occurs when performance isn't regularly measured. Implement the trailing indicator / leading indicator method. Track both your results, trailing indicators, and the behaviors that produce those results, leading indicators. When results temporarily plateau, focus on the leading indicators, the daily actions within your control. The final integration principle is continuous identity reinforcement. Transformation is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of becoming. Each day presents opportunities to strengthen or weaken your new identity through hundreds of small choices. Michael created identity affirmation triggers throughout his day. Each time he walked through a doorway, he mentally affirmed a core aspect of his new identity. Before every meeting, he took 3 deep breaths and reminded himself who he had become. These micro moments of identity reinforcement maintained his transformation momentum. Remember, becoming unrecognizable in 90 days isn't about reaching a destination, it's about crossing a threshold to a new way of being. The transformed person doesn't return to old patterns because those patterns no longer align with who they've become. When transformation becomes identity, maintenance becomes natural.